It's about that time, baby, baby. Oh, yeah. Here we go, here we go.
The Sinclair Show is on.
It is on.
Run it to your friends, come on.
Come on, come
Don't
on.
miss a moment of the show tonight. Mailbag is tight. Sinclair is on the mic.
Once again, it's on. You're still trouble in your home. Got your tripping, don't know right from wrong. Send your letters to the show so we can talk you through. Get the answers to your questions because we speak that truth. Sometimes you doubt yourself, lost your health. Faith is on the fence, but you believe that Jesus knows your well. Keep it moving, spirit flowing because we're here to provide someone to lean on when you're falling. Wednesday, 8 and 9, and it's on. Once again, it's on. You're listening to the only morning show when people at night. That's right. It is the Sinclair Show coming to you live and direct. People, boy, it's a whole nother year. What's up, Jay Dizzle? Glad to see you on the show. It's a whole nother year, and we have got some things to chit-chat about tonight. And yes, it is going to be a curious show, if nothing else. So first, I want to thank all of you all who continue to send your mailbag questions and comments to sinclairtalk@outlook.com. We're going to continue to address as many as possible each night we on the air to reach you, because you all are the valued listeners. What does that mean? That means without you, I could be getting me some rest right now. But since y'all on and I'm on, we're going to talk for a little bit and go through some things that just have struck me. So first, let me say this. Oh, James is on too. What's going on, big dog? Glad to see you on the show already. The new year must have done some magical things. Got some of y'all popping on early. First and foremost, we got two separate topics we're going to talk about tonight. First of all, happy new year to all y'all. I haven't seen y'all since the new year came chirping in. I want to extend my gratitude for y'all coming in on 26 with us. That's just how we get down. But let me say something. Look, it ain't been but 7 days in the new year, and we got a whole bunch of tomfoolery going on. And so we gonna chit chat about it tonight. But I'm gonna give y'all a chance to determine whether we go to the easy end of the pool or the deep end of the pool. One topic is a cultural type thing we could talk about. The other one has a lot to do with y'all president Donald J. Scrump. So I'm gonna let y'all pick. Y'all could pick either. We could talk about the cultural issue that is on for the night, or we could talk about Donald J. first. Y'all pick. Johnny, since you was the first one on, I'm gonna let you determine which one we go with. Is it A or is it B that we start with? Yeah, we're gonna let Jay Dizzle check it out tonight. We waiting on you, Jay Dizzle. So don't make the people mad. You got to make a decision, man. You got to make a decision. If it take him much longer to say something, we ain't gonna let Jay Dizzle pick it out. Matter of fact, any of you, let's see what he said. Oh, Jay, y'all, look here, people. Matter of fact, let me turn the comments on so y'all can see him. Y'all can see down here at the bottom, Jay Dizzle has spoken. He said we're going to start with the Trumpster tonight. All right, I'm down with that. Let's get that out the way. So we do got another thing, so don't y'all worry about it. First and foremost, y'all president. What up, Corey Parks? Glad to see you, big dog. Y'all president, Donald J. Scrump, made a decision that we're going to talk about, where he decided, and we're going to unpack it today, that he would authorize a operation in Venezuela to go and, depending on who you ask, kidnap, confiscate, snatch up, if you in the hood, Nicolas Maduro and his wife, who is the president of Venezuela. Now, before we get too far down this road, I need to make some things clear. He did not have Congress's authorization. There is a slight clause that says that there are certain actions that a president can take. Now, what I need y'all to understand is this man said, I believe that the president of Venezuela has been allowing drugs to come from his country into ours. So we're going to charge him with it. And then we're going to go into his country. In the middle of the night, we're going to bomb his country. We're going to snatch up him and his wife, and we're going to put them on a boat, on a ship, on a U.S. ship, and we're going to get them back to New York. Now, I'm not no rocket scientist, but I can't be the only person that think that seems a little bit crazy. And not crazy just because he did it. So let me begin by saying that it's not simply because he did it. It's because we done normalized this level of foolishness. And as we always like to talk about on the show, is the cause and effect of a individual's action. Now, in this particular case, it's by authorizing this type of action for the stated reason. Now, we're going to talk about them reasons because after he got him on that ship and got him to New York, he changed his reasons up. So initially, he said it was because they were filing charges against Nicolas Maduro, and they was going to go snatch him up and make him stand trial in the United States. First and foremost, we already discussed it. There is alleged to be some protocols that you're supposed to follow. Now, mind you, Venezuela has has the sovereignty that every other country has, right? And by him going in there snatching them up, unilaterally, I might add, then it puts us in a peculiar position. Because if you allege that you did it because this person had committed crimes against the United States, and those crimes he alleged was that the dude was out here selling a little, transporting and sending high levels of narcotics into the United States. The challenge with that is this: you're charging a sitting president, and you have, even if you say the drugs are coming, Detective Pamela Black, what's going on, girl? Glad to see you on the show tonight. By doing this, you place us in a precarious position because the one thing that Trump has over the last 12 months, even prior on his previous term, has stated is that the ability of a president to do whatever they want to do while in office and they have immunity to it, there becomes a challenge with that. You see what James was talking about? He said protocol went out the window once he sees that Russian tanker today. Oh, I see. I wasn't even aware of that. I hadn't even got myself updated on it. So we're gonna find out what they really about. But again, I need you all to process this. The reason why Donald Trump has not been sentenced and was not sent to jail for the convictions that he faced and was found guilty of is because they said he won the election. So as president, he had immunity. Okay. Because our Constitution, JC, what's going on, girl? Our Constitution did not afford us the ability to incarcerate a president. He would have to be impeached, therefore removed from being president in order to make him serve a sentence for a crime he has already been convicted of. Now, taking all that into consideration, if the U.S. president says a president has full immunity for crimes he committed, and cannot be incarcerated, my question then became, for what reason would you go illegally or not to Venezuela to snatch and grab the Venezuela president for, let's say you believe he was out there selling dope, pushing tankers of narcotics to the United States? Would he not have, under American law, would he not have the same immunity that Donald Trump is using to stay out of jail today? That's the question. I mean, think about it. First of all, the dude ain't been convicted of nothing. He is accused of it. And it's probably a, even if you're making up things, it's probably a jump to go from this dude is the president to he is the drug dealer of choice. Nikki Carter, what's going on, girl? Glad to see you in 26. Nikki Carter, you need to change your picture too. That picture been up there for like years. Lock who up? You talking about lock Trump up or lock Maduro up? And then they ain't even talking about the fact when the man, what they snatch his old lady up for. That's another thing. If you say the president did it, what is you snatching his wife up for? You gonna lock her up too. Again. Now, although he said, Happy New Month Year, everyone. Nikki Carter, listen, let me tell you what you're not gonna do. You're not gonna commandeer the show by you typing up a bunch of foolishness that don't nobody want to talk about. Just come on quietly. You was already late. That way we ain't got to put up with the foolishness. But back to what we were talking about. You gotta think the mindset when you take these types of actions, you are opening the door. Now, some people have said this was a distraction because of the Epstein foolery going on. And it could be because y'all been putting an enormous amount of heat on Donald Trump and his compadres who were snatching up young women and taking them to Epstein Island or Mar-a-Lago, allegedly, or some of these other places. Now, the problem is, hypothetically, what would we as Americans say if someone from the UK or one of these other countries where one or more of the 1,000 women who said that they were held against their will and forced to become a part of sex trafficking for rich men, to which Trump is accused of participating, allegedly. So what would we say as America if, let's say, somebody from the UK, the government of UK says, we believe that Donald Trump is one of the guilty parties, and they sent their elite forces in to snatch him up from the White House or from one of his destinations and transported him back to the UK so that he could stand trial for crimes alleged to have been committed. That's where all of these things go to in my mind, because you can't have it both ways. If a president truly does not enjoy immunity from all crimes, then Donald Trump ought to be in jail right now, because he clearly was convicted. And what we used was the fact that our Constitution, no one had ever tested it to incarcerate a president for crimes committed. But if we allowed that Donald Trump could not be incarcerated, then for what reason or what powers would we possess to say that another active president did not have the same immunity for crimes that may have been committed with them? That's the question. Jay Dizzle says a lot of smoke and mirrors. Now, the reason why I am in agreement with that is this. Immediately after they hit They done hit Maduro and his wife in the head. She came to court. She got a black eye, got a bandage over her head. And they talking about they hurt them. Both of them hurt their heads trying to escape when they was trying to snatch them up in the middle of the night. Come on, man. That lady got a black eye. Unless she jumped on the corner of her eye on something, they punched that lady in her eye. You've been living a long time. You ain't never had a black eye. But there is only a few ways to get a black eye. You can get a scratch on your face. You can get a lot of stuff. But to get a black eye, something, not something from the country, something got to hit you in your eye. A fist, a gun, a stick, a vase. Something's got to hit you in your eye in order for your eye to be black like that. Okay. Johnny says she got butt stroke with that rifle. Probably so. I don't know. I wasn't there. But it fits the opportunity. And so y'all done brought these people to court. And then Donald Trump and his cronies have the audacity to say, oh, yeah, we're going to get that oil too. And we're going to run Venezuela. Now, let me say this to you all. The chances of us, meaning America, being able to run Venezuela successfully, and we can't run America successfully, there lies a problem. Our Congress, with 2.5 political parties, can't agree on health care. Our Senate, House, we can't get the Supreme Court of America, of the United States of America, to agree to what the Constitution says is rights and responsibilities, etc., etc. How are we going to run Venezuela? And who they gonna let do it? They said always about the exploitation of another country's resources. Absolutely. But the fact, America, we got to think now. We are begging for somebody to attack us. I'm just being honest with y'all. Maybe people don't want to say it because of how it makes them feel. I got to keep it 1,000 with y'all. You can't go snatch somebody else's president up, say I'm doing it because I want their oil, and then say, and we gonna run it. And then to tell us, to top it off, if the person that's there don't do what we say, we're going to snatch them up too. So it wasn't about whether Maduro had committed crimes, because you said you will remove another person, even if they people vote on it, if we don't like the decision. Come on now, make it make sense. Now, the other thing is then Donald J. Trump gets out here, and what does he say? He says, and we want Greenland. He started talking about all of the little countries. He started talking about, and then tried to threaten Mexico. Didn't you just get through kicking as many as you can? Ain't you got ICE running around here in these proverbial streets trying to snatch up people that you don't even know if they good citizens, bad citizens, real citizens, illegally in this country, citizens? You don't know if that's who you snatching up. What would you be threatening Mexico to do? You're gonna do what? You're gonna take over Mexico and do what? Because if you take them over, then don't they get to come through the border? Yeah, that's a dumb conversation. You want Greenland? See, all of these things. Hold on. Who is sending me? Listen, people, let me tell y'all something. Do y'all ever? I'm sitting up here getting a text from my cousin talking about don't forget about the BRIC Nation. First of all, why is he even ear hustling on us? He ain't even on the show. But he sent it to, look, people, I'm gonna show y'all. Y'all see this? See, he's sending me texts telling me what to talk about on the show, but he ain't on the show. That's why I'm watching me put this on silent. That way, if he send us anything else, we not responding to it. You see how we get, you see we had to go through. Yeah, that right there. James, what James said? James said he won't slow down until some action is taken. Absolutely. That tanker attack was off the coast of Iceland. Okay, so James, fill us in because I didn't see that. Hold on, Nikki Carter, you said you couldn't see my phone. Well, first of all, hold on. You trying to get too much information. You might have been trying to get some numbers or something off my phone. Mind your business. So the bottom line is this, is that when you start making these threats, the worst thing you can do is put a bunch of people in fear for their lives, in fear for their freedom. Because what will happen is those people you think you're so easy to beat and attack and all these things because you're so mighty, here's what happens. Scared people do the most random things. They do the types of things that you can't prepare for. But what I need you all to understand is that is exactly what I believe, and this is my own personal opinion. I have nothing substantial to validate it, but it is a theory of mine. And here's what the theory is. Donald Trump needs us to be at war, not away from the United States, within the United States. He needs someone to attack the United States so he can declare martial law, so he could put a freeze on elections, so he could put a freeze on any type of activity that might lead to him not having a majority. Understand where we at. Now, y'all mark this down as January the 7th and understand what I'm about to say. I predict before June, he will incite someone, either internally or externally, he will force someone to attack the United States. Because it is the only means of him creating a martial law state that he can freeze electoral processes. He must do it before November, because in November, at the pace that we are today, we've had about 10 or 11 off-season, off-cycle elections, and in each one of them, the Democrats have come out on top. Currently, we have a two-position, Republicans have a two-position majority in the House right now. It is soon to be one. But this is a year of elections in November. Not the presidential election, but in Congress and in the Senate. And if the Democrats are to take over, what would happen is Donald Trump has already said it 2 nights ago, surely they will impeach me. James said a tanker filled with Venezuelan oil belonging to the Ruskies was seized by U.S. before the Rusky sub could get there to escort it. Well, we're going to see how that turns out. The veiled working theory is implementing the Monroe Doctrine to protect the Western Hemisphere. Yeah, absolutely. I've heard those conversations. But I want you guys to not take your eye off the prize. And for those people who are on the show, I've got some people that popped up and they are in the UK. I was not suggesting that you all do that action based on Donald Trump and Epstein. I'm not saying that. What I was presenting to our American audience is what would happen if you use the theory that presidents do not have immunity, and if we went and snatched up Maduro under the auspices that Maduro had committed a crime of pushing drugs into America, and that's the reason why we wanted him to stand trial. It is a alleged crime. Then if they find that Donald Trump committed alleged crimes, which, let's be honest, NATO could easily say that America was not at threat with those alleged boats that were alleged to be transporting drugs because they weren't anywhere close to America. So I just want you to understand how slippery 70 people have been killed. That's a lot of people. So for those of you who are Trump supporters, I am not judging whether or not you should support your dude or not. I am saying be careful as to whether or not you change the policy. You can't say the reason why Trump is not in jail is because he is the president and enjoys immunity based on our laws, and then say another president does not. It just doesn't work that way. So, again, just need y'all to keep this in mind. Remember, I told you all, my belief is this has nothing to do with the oil. While we may enjoy the process of confiscating somebody's oil, I believe that both Russia and China, who already had a relationship with Venezuela, will soon be on the ground in Venezuela if they're not already there, because there is an acting president there who I believe will enjoy the partnerships that previously exist, and Russia knows that America isn't going to start a war with them. All this tough talk, I believe Trump's goal is to either have someone attack us or to create a smokescreen by which, listen to this now, it's just a theory. If he can't get somebody else to attack us, they will create the optical illusion that a foreign government attacked us, and then what they would do is implement martial law. Now, I've told y'all this, so y'all can record this. Y'all can go back, get it off YouTube, whatever you want to do. But understand that I've said as of January the 7th that before or by the end of June, they will either somebody will attack us or they will create the optics that somebody attacked us, because it is the only trigger that will allow a national martial law that then triggers elections to be canceled. And he has to do everything possible to stop the Democrats from taking control of the House between now and November. So he has a little more than 9 months to do it. And you all should not get distracted because it has consequences. Well, some of y'all might say, well, why does he want to stay in office? He wants to stay in office because the only other option for him is jail. He has already been convicted. He was not sentenced in a traditional format because the belief was that there was nothing that allowed them to incarcerate a sitting president. I'm just telling you. And so if being president is the only thing that is preventing him from being incarcerated, do you not see why all of this foolishness? Because please believe, the Epstein situation is not going away. So I got to create a lot of extra confusion. Now they say he's been saying what he's going to do to stay in power. Absolutely. And let me say this. I've told you all throughout the years that because I am an independent, I don't have an allegiance to Republicans or Democrats. I get to vote my conscience. I am saying to you all, both Republicans some of you all, the majority of you all, as they say, 75% of you all, it doesn't matter to you what he does. You just like the theory of your political branch being in power. And to those Democrats who voted for Trump because you couldn't stand the thought of Kamala Harris being in office, understand what I'm telling you. That he is going to do whatever he can to stay in power, no matter how many smoke screens. Understand something. All of you all say you hate pedophiles. You all say you hate anybody who would snatch up women and force them into sex slave trade. That's what you say. But that ain't what you really mean. How do I know? Because it's like I tell y'all all the time. Johnny is the closest person to a brother that I have. I have no biological brother, right? And I say to you all the time, I don't like dudes that beat women. I don't rock with them. And as close as Johnny is to me, if I thought or knew for a fact that Johnny was the type of dude that would beat a woman, I don't care how much I love him, he and I can't be cool no more, because my conviction is my conviction. So I'm saying this and I'm using that as an example. And no, Johnny don't be beating no women. I'm using it as an example. I don't want y'all out there trying to cut Johnny tires because you watched the show. But you can't say that something is your conviction, but make it dependent on who does it. If you don't like criminals, how do you like Donald Trump? If you don't support people who assault women, he has been convicted. I don't have to say alleged. He was convicted by a jury for E. Jean Carroll. I don't have to say alleged, because he's been convicted. You have still supported Donald Trump, although more than 20 women came forward from different parts, different eras, and has verbally said that this man did some unwanted sexual act to them against their will. But some of y'all still voted for him. Listen, I know how y'all thinking right now. Some of y'all in your feelings. Let me go ahead and put it like this. And I'm not picking at my Anglo-Saxon comrades, because this is not a black or white thing. Although some of my Anglo-Saxon colleagues do some things that are unusual for black culture. I'll give you an example. I personally like animals. But I was watching YouTube just a few days ago, and I saw one of my Anglo-Saxon comrades that had a pet fox and a pet raccoon. And these animals live in a house. And some of you may have seen it, the little fox be running through the house, jumping all on the man and jumping on the sofa and hopping from one couch. A fox, an actual fox that came out the woods. And then there's a raccoon that lives with the same family. And the raccoon was upset about something and jumped from one chair to the next and jumped on the dude's head and started wrestling with the dude. And he was just laughing and having an absolute wonderful time. And I was in awe, because I have never seen, not saying that it doesn't happen, but I have never seen an Anglo-Saxon comrade of mine allow a black person to jump from one couch to the next in their home, wrestle with them and play with them. They kiss the raccoon in the mouth. This is their pet. He's part of the family. They are petting a fox. They are rubbing a fox stomach in the house. But will call the cops on you if you ring their doorbell. Now, I'm just saying. Hold on, Nikki Carter. First of all, you talking about what kind of friends I got. I didn't say it was friends of mine. I said I saw it on YouTube. You can go out there and watch it yourself. And don't get smart, because you know what I'm doing in 26? I'm deleting people. So if you keep getting smart, you won't be on a Sense of Class show no more. You'll get deleted. But back to the good people out here. Think about this. You all will accept the most random foolishness and normalize it. You normalized everything that Donald Trump told you himself. Do you know why I'm not mad at the foolishness that the president is doing? Because I believe the moment that he was duly elected by you all, that what transpired is once he became the president, ain't no need to sit around and cry about it. And you shouldn't be crying right now. Y'all done been laid off. He done took your money. He done reduced the size of the government. He got it so it take you 4 weeks just for you to get through on the phone at most of these government agencies. So all of you who are senior in age and trying to do, you shouldn't be, who you mad with? You voted for him. And I stand firm when crazy Joe Biden was in there, when Barack Obama was in there, whether it was Clinton or the George Bushes, each time we have a duly elected president, the moment that it is official, no matter who I voted for, I must respect the person in office. I ain't got to like them. And you do too. You got to do it, because if you hadn't been so anxious to say, I'd rather have a convicted felon in the White House, I'd rather have a person in the White House who is accused by 20 women of some level of sexual impropriety. I would rather have someone in the White House who is accused by small businesses of having them to come and do work for them and not pay them. I'd rather have somebody in the White House who is viewed as being a threat to their own national security. You voted for him because you said you'd rather have that than to have a black woman. And to me, that is the equivalent of saying, I don't mind kissing raccoons in the mouth. I don't mind playing with rabid foxes from the woods. I'd rather have a fox and a raccoon in my house but I will call the police on a black person ringing the doorbell because I fear for my safety. You don't fear for your safety from kissing a raccoon. There is another, and I don't, you know what? And I'm not hating on raccoons. But I'm trying to understand, because I saw another video where this girl is eating a peach. And she is chewing off one side of the peach while a raccoon is chewing on her. What is it with the raccoons? I'm trying to understand, when did raccoons become so friendly? I started researching. If you go to YouTube and start looking up raccoon friends, you will see people sitting them up in high chairs, giving them grapes. You won't even give a brother some grapes. But you will sit a raccoon at your table. Here goes somebody else call. Let me just let them know. I can't talk right now. People do not respect the show. But y'all see what I did? I disconnected them because I'm not going to turn my back on y'all. I'm not going to treat y'all like they treat us. All right? Anymore, what's going on, girl? Glad to see you. And so, again, America, the reason why we sit, Essie Shepherd, what's going on? Glad to see you tonight. That's my armor bearer right there. She keep the wolves off me and foxes. All right? Nikki Carter talking about raccoons are cute. Sure they are. And I don't want you all that have pet raccoons, I don't want y'all to put them out in the streets tonight. Let them keep living with you. I just want to know, why are you not scared to kiss a raccoon in the mouth, but you scared of black people? It don't make sense. You will find a baby raccoon in the forest and take them home and turn them into something special for you and your family. When is the last time you took a minority male home? I ain't say female, because y'all known for taking some of them home. But I digress. Anyway, people, look, I still got something else to talk about, so I don't want to stay focused on this. We are going to come back next week and pick up and see what has happened. But again, mark your calendars. I believe that there will be the appearance of an attack from another country between now. Kiki Matthews, what's going on? There will be the appearance of an attack from another country between now and June in order for Trump to be able to authorize martial law, only because he wants to freeze November elections. If you've been watching TV, yesterday he asked the Republicans, he told the Republicans, you know, the moment they become in power, they're going to impeach me. That's what he told them. And so, like Malcolm X said, by any means necessary, he is determined to stay in power. So I just want y'all to marinate on that. Keep your eyes on the news. I am going to look up the little Russian tanker that James done turned us on to the information on. So now, hold on. Nikki Carter talking about, say, like the baby otters. Yes, Nikki Carter, I've seen the baby otters. They remind me of you. You look just like a little otter. Yes, somebody gonna get you some salmon and let you run through the kitchen, and they're gonna give you some salmon too, okay? Man, somebody, if y'all tell me right now to disconnect Nikki Carter, I promise you I will. I'm gonna leave it up to you all. Whatever you all say, if y'all say y'all want Nikki Carter to stay on a few more months with us, then I'll let her stay. But she getting on my nerves. But anyway, let's go to something else. The second thing I want to talk about that seems to be massively on the headlines is Dressgate, is what I'm like to call it. I have been paying attention to Jamal Bryant. Jamal and Kari Turner Bryant went to an event. For those of you all who don't know who Jamal Bryant is, he is a pastor. He is the one that took over New Birth. And I believe y'all remember New Birth, because New Birth was the one that had the other dude that was messing with boys. But I don't remember his name, but it will come to me. If you can think of it, remind me. Somebody type it in up here on the internet. But check this out. So they go to an event, all right, over the holidays. And matter of fact, Jamal Bryant and Dr. Kari Turner Bryant attended the United Negro College Fund Atlanta Mayor's Mass Ball, a major fundraiser for HBCUs. Dr. Bryant wore a black and what is called a flesh-colored lace gown, which some online viewers perceived as too revealing. Social media and some churches' critics quickly jumped into a debate over modesty, respectability, and appropriateness. What was intended as a celebration of a $4 million raised for HBCUs became overshadowed by judgment over a dress. Oh yeah, JC that told us it. New Birth used to be run by old Eddie Long. Yeah, that one. Now let me start by saying this. A disclaimer to you. Now, a lot of y'all ask me about this because it seems like every time something dealing with a church, a pastor, a preacher goes on, y'all want to try to challenge me as if I won't answer the question. I am built different. I will answer the question as I so honestly see fit. So let us start with this. One, a man and his wife went to a ball. He said he bought her the dress. The dress it is a laced gown. The undergarment of the lace gown is what they call flesh colored. And you all said she was out of compliance. She was out of bounds because she wore this dress that made it appear that she didn't have on anything under it. That is how you saw it. Now, let me say this to you. And I know some of my colleagues and clergy members are probably going to have something that they say, but they certainly won't say it to me because I am built different. That man and his wife got a right to go to a ball to raise funds. And just because the undertone of the dress was a similar color to her skin, she didn't make the dress. She wasn't showing anything. But y'all is somebody else's business. Now, if you say, Sinclair, if you had a girlfriend, would you buy that dress for her and go to some event? The answer is no. But not because that it's something wrong for her to do it. It wouldn't be something that I would do. Now, some of y'all don't like Jamal Bryant. He's a controversial figure, no doubt. But you making it about his wife wearing a dress. Now, let's be clear. Some of you all feel the way you feel because you're hypocrites. If you got a problem with what Kari Turner Bryant wore to a ball, you most certainly should have a problem with some folks wear into the church in general. And why do you have a problem with her wearing it, but you will put on something just as revealing and just as tight? Are you saying because he's a pastor, she can't wear certain garments because it makes you feel some kind of way? You don't feel no kind of way when you let your teenage daughter go out looking a hot mess with her thighs out and everything else. Well, it's the same thing that I always talk about when I say your conviction must be your conviction. Is it the dress? Is the dress inappropriate? Or is it you in somebody else's business? That's the piece. I don't care which side you stand on. If you stand on the side, hold on, let me see what Nikki Carter said. Nikki Carter said the dress was inappropriate. Nikki Carter, I ain't gonna call you slow, and I ain't gonna say you don't know how to spell, but I don't think you did inappropriate right. You put in space appropriate. Are you saying it was in and appropriate? I see, that's why you should never jump out here. Because see, then when I post up what you put for the world to see, you look a little slow. Again, if you say that the dress was inappropriate, then that means if your daughter was to wear it, it's inappropriate. That means if you got something in your closet that you think looks good on you, but it is too tight, too revealing, or otherwise, it's inappropriate. See, most of y'all hypocrites. I don't really care what that man's wife wore. That's the truth. I don't. Look at Nikki Carter learning how to spell. She probably went out there and used Chat GPT and learned that inappropriate is one word. Good job, Nikki Carter. Now, but understand what I'm saying to you. You all that are focused on what that lady wore. Now, let me say this to Jamal Bryant or Pastor Jamal Bryant. Let me say this to you. Bruh, while you have a right to do something, does not mean that you should do it. And I'm not convinced that you didn't know it would draw that level of attention. Some of you are attention whores. Y'all don't like that phrase? That's what it is. Pastor Bryant, you should have known because you're a reasonable person with high intelligence. You knew that that dress would cause a commotion amongst haters and hypocrites. So you don't get the cloak of cover because you still did it. Even if I often say you can be right, but not righteous. Meaning you got a right for your wife to put on whatever clothes she want to put on. And let me say this to you all, America, it ain't none of your business. If you stop being everywhere, seeing everything, you won't get mad about stuff that ain't got nothing to do with you or yours. All right? James said the dress was made for a nude appearance. That was my issue. If the lining was silver, probably best dressed there. It was done for spoons and likes and dislikes. Hey, I don't disagree. Jamal Bryant knew, could be. So they say, I think they're spending way too much energy on a dress and not enough on the mission. Okay, I can agree with that. Sade, glad to see you on the show tonight. Nicky Carter said he's a social media user and a man of the world. Listen, I am not judging Jamal Bryant on whether or not he is a real pastor or XYZ, because that's between him and God. Okay? I'm only talking about this particular issue because it has seemed to consume headlines. And I want you all to understand something. Again, I don't mind you all having your own personal convictions and voicing your opinions. I have a problem with you being hypocrites because you allow yourself, you allow your daughters, you okay with your nieces. Most of y'all got a sister that have walked around with something that was tight, revealing, or by the same standards could be considered inappropriate. Your problem is you're so busy looking to find a flaw with folks that go to church. If I got a problem with it, I'm going to have a problem with it at the church. I'm going to have a problem with it at Food Lion. I'm going to have a problem with it in the streets. I could drive past the average house where buses come to pick up teenagers and see inappropriate teenagers going to school, what most of you who got running your mouth about Kari Bryant laying in the bed with your daughter at the bus stop half naked, and you ain't got no problem with it. So what is it? Is it the dress, or you just like picking on church folks? I'm just asking. I'm not defending. I am defending her right to wear what she wants to because you all wear what you want to. Half of y'all ain't even studying nothing, ain't reading nothing, don't care nothing about the church. You're using this because they are church figures to say the dress was inappropriate. And fellas, how dare you all? Hold on one second. Let me see what Jay Dizzle talking about. They do the dress with creative viral moment because of who and what they represent. Absolutely. But none of this would matter if y'all stop caring. Fellas, I'm not going to give us no pass on this. Y'all are definitely hypocrites. Half of y'all got the picture of the girl in your phone. Half of y'all love pulling up on women that wear the exact types of things. Maybe not that expensive, but you will definitely get you somebody that's low budget that's wearing something revealing because it's a turn on to you. So I want to know, what's your real conviction? Because if you say it's wrong and you stand on business, I can rock with that. But I can't rock with you talking about a grown woman who's married to a pastor wearing a dress that you say gave the appearance of something, but you can't get your own daughter from the bus stop looking like she about to go work the streets. What about that? I'm just saying. They ain't said they put their flaw on Front Street, though. James, I am not denying that he knew or should have known it would cause this impact. And he said, I just think it is inappropriate for a first lady. I know I wouldn't want to see my first lady dressed like that. Absolutely. And I do not want you all to confuse. Listen to what I'm saying. I don't want you all to confuse whether or not, I've already said it is not something I would buy. And if I had a girlfriend, it's not something that I would want her to wear out as a representation of me. But I will defend the fact that if you are not upset about your own child wearing it, if you're not upset about seeing your own sister in it, if you're not upset about seeing your nieces, your cousins wearing revealing stuff that's too tight, if you ain't arguing about that, how are you arguing about Jamal Bryant and his wife? Because your child, your sister, your niece, they all on social media putting their business out too for likes and clicks. And some of y'all don't say nothing about it. And then there's a percentage of y'all that's mad because you can't get in a dress like that. Don't let your hate become the reason why all of a sudden you get some convictions about somebody else. Manage your own family the same way you trying to manage Jamal Bryant's. Was it distasteful? Maybe for what he represents. Maybe. Would any of us have done it? Probably not. But I think there is a distinct issue when you want to hold somebody to a standard but give everybody else a pass. Stop saying just because he's a pastor, just because somebody's a preacher, then I'm going to hold them to a different life standard. When are you going to hold yourself, your family, your kids, your nieces, your sisters? When are you going to hold regular folks to a standard? That's just a question from me. I don't care what she wore. Truth be told, I don't care what y'all wear. But I do care about the hypocrisy that we, especially in our community, seem to do because it affords us an opportunity to have something to say. Your convictions shouldn't matter who the person on the other end is if it's your conviction. Get your own house right. Manage your own kids. Stop dealing with people who violate the same things that you up here talking to Kari Bryant about, who don't know you and you don't know her, because it's good for you to talk about online, but you got pictures on your Facebook page of you, your daughters, your nieces, your cousins, your sisters, in far more revealing things, and you ain't even mad about it. Look, people, I'm tired, but I wanted to have this discussion because I need you all in 26 to start to examine yourselves and ask yourself, am I real about what I say and believe in? Or am I out here just running my mouth so that I got something to say? Do I stand on business for whatever I believe? Because if you say one thing and you do another, you might be fooling some people, but most people know you are what you are. If you put yourself on a pedestal, it is easy to fall off. But if you keep your feet flat on the ground, it's real hard to fall from the bottom. Let that marinate on your spirit. I gotta go
about
people.
that time, baby. Oh yeah. Here we go. The Sinclair Show is on.
It is on.
Run it if your friends come on.